Now turn up.
What up is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads? We have a DeAndre Swift jersey still free that we are going to give away at sometime around the 2,000 subscriber. Whenever that happens, well, we are going to give it away when we hit 2,000K. This is the most important Dynasty Fantasy Football video, so don't turn away. This is going to be a little bit of a longer one. We are comparing the running backs and the wide receivers, average draft position in Dynasty Fantasy Football. And if you were to just take, if it's running back 1, instead of having a name to it, or RB2, like if you were to just throw darts and draft by position, how successful would you be just based off of the data that we have here? It's the most important video that I have done probably in the last, couple months. I think it's eye-opening. We're going to be comparing running backs versus wide receivers, and there's going to be some situations in the 2022 draft that you might have where you have a running back and a wide receiver, and you have to make the decision, what do I do? So we're going to be going through it. We're going to compare round 1, and if you didn't watch the last 2 videos, it's round 1 running backs, average draft position, round 2, round 3, top 12, top 24, top 36. We're going to be doing round 1 versus round 1, then round 2 versus round 2, then round 3 versus round 3. Got it? All right. Round 1 average, so we talked about the players in 2015 to 2021, so the last 7 years of drafts, the chances of having an RB1, 41%. 64% for RB2, 77% chance for an RB3 compared to, so it's 41% chance compared to a 23% chance for a wide receiver. A 64% chance versus a 44%. An extra 20% that you're getting on the running back side. And a 77% chance versus a 56% chance. Another 20%. Basically, if you have a wide receiver, you have a 20% chance less at that certain notch that you say. So if you want a wide receiver 1 or running back 1, you have a 20% better chance to have a running back 1 in round 1, which is, I think, dramatic. I think it is dramatic. Because we all think of these wide receivers being safe. We think about them, their longevity. There's fantasy channels around that talk about you got to draft the wide receivers over the running backs, the wide receivers over the running backs. You got to draft, but not every draft is going to have a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson. In fact, Justin Jefferson was not even the first wide receiver drafted. A lot of times you're going to end up getting CeeDee Lamb, which is a good wide receiver. But if you drafted CeeDee Lamb over, like, Jonathan Taylor or over even, like, DeAndre Swift, where would you be at that point? Would you be happy? Would you be mad? I mean, I'd be horribly mad if I drafted him over Jonathan Taylor. But that's beside the point. Let's talk about seasons, because we didn't get to talk about this data in the first 2 videos. Total seasons of having RB1 seasons, 28%, which I think is pretty significant. 43 seasons that we had as an RB1 season. RB2 seasons, 44%. And RB3 seasons, 58% of the time. So, over half the time you're going to have or at least an RB3 season, you can say 44%. You're just under half the time you're going to have at least an RB2 season, which is top 24, which is super important. Let's go to wide receivers. 10%. 24%, 37%. You have a 1 in 4 chance instead of a half chance, if that makes sense. If you're a math person, you probably keep up. If you're not a math person, I'm sorry, I talk fast, and I just throw numbers out there, and hopefully you catch them. So really, you have 33 out of 138 seasons being at least wide receiver 2. And you have, look at my data, 67 of 153, which is 44% chance of having at least an RB2, which I think wide receiver 3, RB3, I'm not going to care about those as much. I want the RB2 at least better, or wide receiver 2 better. And if you're giving me a 44% chance or a 24% chance, I think that is a drastic change. And I'm going to tell you the change that I'm going to make in my Dynasty rankings after looking at this, and I've had them neck and neck so close. It'll be at the end of the video of what Dynasty ranking I'm changing. It's kind of a spoiler for a future video, but whatever. Rookie seasons that have been wide receiver 1s, 3. Rookie wide receivers that have been wide receivers 2, 8. I'm not even going to go wide receiver 3 because it's 12, but whatever. Rookie seasons of RB1, 9. So you have 9 compared to 3, and you have 16 for RB2 versus 8. So again, you have the immediate production, you have more production. I don't know what else you want. If you have an RB, if you have a running back in round 1, they have a better successful chance of being more fantasy relevant, which means we should be drafting running backs over wide receivers if there's a tie. It's what we're coming down to, at least in round 1. Round 2. Let's go through round 2. 19, 35, and 52 is the percentages. Actually, I'm just going to go 19% chance of having an RB1 in round 2. You have a 14%, so it's closer. That gap has now been not neck and neck, but 19 and 14, I would say, is a lot closer than 41 and 23. So now you're getting really, 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 really close. 35% chance of an RB2 versus 30%, and then 52 versus 38%. We are starting to get a lot closer, which makes sense because a lot of people suggest taking wide receiver running back in round 2 just as a kind of general advice. I've never given that. I'm just saying I like to take best player available. It's usually my go-to, especially in round 2. You got to take talent. You got to take some of the draft capital in there as well. But different video. Total RB seasons we got 11% and then 22% for RB2, and then you have 4% and 15% for wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. So a little bit down. So if you look at round 1 or round 2, it's closer. We have running backs slightly over wide receivers, but it's a lot closer. Let's go to rookie seasons. You got 4 that were RB1s. You have 0 that were wide receiver 1s. You have 4 that were running back 2s. You have 3 that were wide receiver 2s, and then you have 10 and 6. 10 for RB3s, 6 for wide receiver 3s. Again, I think ding, ding, ding. We have a winner for, again, the round 2 for running backs. Let's go to round 3. And I'm going to talk about what I think the reason for some of this is, and we're going to go through it. So 3, 9, and 22%. So 3% chance of having an RB1 versus 8%. Hey, wide receivers 1. Yay, wide receivers 1. 9% to have a running back 2. You have a 11% to have a wide receiver 2. And then a 22% chance versus a 14% chance. So you do have a chance of having at least an RB3 over a wide receiver 3. But if you want that top tier, that wide receiver 1 and 2, round 3 is going to be your chance to have them defeat the running backs. And so total seasons, you have 1, 5, and 9% versus 6, 9, and 12. So you look at 5, 4, and 3% better chance with wide receivers. Just a slightly better chance of 1 in 20. Think about it that way. It's enough to still make a difference. And then really rookie seasons, you're going to have an RB1. You did have 1 RB1 and 1 RB2 versus 0 wide receiver. No, 1 wide receiver 1 and no wide receiver rookie 1s and no wide receiver rookie 2s. So a little bit initial now. Think Elijah Mitchell is what we're saying. Running backs look like they're the better rookie draft pick. So what in the world is going on? I think part of it is shelf life. I think the shelf life of wide receivers is longer. But what am I doing with this data? I am continuing to do what I do, what people have sometimes said that I shouldn't do on this channel, and I am going to put that mark of drafting running backs over wide receivers. It's why I had Travis Etienne over Jamar Chase. Was that illogical thinking? Well, I mean, potentially that was illogical thinking, but it was close, in my opinion. I liked both of them, but I thought that running back, we don't know what Travis Etienne has in store for him. It's the reason why I had even Javonte Williams over Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith is because Javonte Williams is now becoming a top 10 dynasty pick. Right, not too far away behind Jamar Chase. Like, you couldn't trade him 1 for 1, but it would be they are getting closer and closer. If Javonte Williams blows up, he'll be worth more than Jamar Chase short term because running backs are harder to get. Running backs are more demand. You have more demand, less supply. It's easier, in my opinion, to trade for a wide receiver 3, trade for a Brandon Cooks, even trade for a Cortland Sutton, Kenny Golladay type, an Allen Robinson type. Those are easier. Juju Smith-Schuster, you can even trade for some of these wide receivers. They're easier to trade for. They really are. Even a DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin's value have gone down some because they just aren't wide receiver 1s. They're wide receiver 2s. So, what does this tell me? Draft my running backs, and after a year or 2, we start trading those running backs. And you start trading them for wide receivers that you already know have the substantial, because once you see that they have the seasons, you know that their chances are going to be better. We even looked at, I'm going to pull that up because I saw. So, in 2020, only 4 wide receivers drafted in the first round between 2015 and 2021 made it into the top 12. So You have A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and Calvin Ridley. The other 8 were Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, Tyreek Hill, Allen Robinson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and Devontae Adams. All were drafted prior to 2015. And, of course, Tyreek Hill was drafted later. He wasn't drafted in the first 3 rounds. So what that tells us is that wide receivers have this huge longevity. Once you have one, they are likely to be more successful. These running backs fluctuate so much more. It's more of a revolving door. Let's go through running backs. In the same year, 9 of the top 12 running backs were drafted between 2015 and 2021. Zeke, Jacobs, JT, David Montgomery, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt. The last 3 were Antonio Gibson, James Robinson, and Aaron Jones. Wow. Round 3, undrafted, and Aaron Jones was... Antonio Gibson round 2. Antonio Gibson round 3, but he was drafted as a wide receiver, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check that. Aaron Jones, I think, was round 5, and James Robinson was undrafted. So it's saying that you're going to have these running backs are going to be more valuable right off the bat. And they're going to have immediate value. Think Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, even think Jonathan Taylor. Like they're going to have value right now. Breece Hall is going to have more value than Garrett Wilson right off the bat. The chances are going to be really high that that's the situation, which is the exact reason why I'm changing rankings. I am now moving Kenneth Walker. He was from 3. He is now moving up to number 2. I have enough safety measures that I believe Kenneth Walker will succeed at the next level. And there's enough percentages that he's going to succeed at the next level that he is my new 102. Welcome, Kenneth Walker. You are my new 102. It has to be done here. I think it really does. With the analytics that I see here, I have a hard time not having him as a top 2 pick with just even the stats that I've done, the research, the analytics. His video, when it was close, he was close with Garrett Wilson and Treylon Burks. But that running back position, I feel like the demand, the drop-off after him, I feel like he's up there with best player. I'm moving him to 102. I have Kenneth Walker at 102, which might have been not too late, but it might have been post-mature. Yeah, post-mature, not premature, post-mature, if that's a thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed creating this video. I enjoyed doing the analytics here. Video is so important to a player's success and looking at talent and stuff as well. I do like analytics. I like seeing numbers and giving me justification for why I have things in certain places. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're still around, still DeAndre Swift signed jersey. It's still here. All right. Peace out. Have a good weekend. We'll probably see you Monday. I think I'm taking Sunday off. It's Easter. Have a good Easter, everybody. I'm taking Sunday off. It's official now. I'm taking it off. Have a wonderful Easter, everybody. And we'll see you Monday with Mock Draft Monday. Peace out. Now turn up.